Hi, I'm Ruth from the Little Black and White Book Project. We bring to life animals from all over the world as black and white illustrations for babies and toddlers. Research has shown that black and white actually registers the strongest on a baby's retina just after birth because it's the highest contrast in light and dark that you could possibly have. Strong visual signals to the brain stimulates brain development and brain growth and really helps their visual development at the same time. So you can really help stimulate your baby's development by showing them black and white images. So back in 2016 I was pregnant with my little boy, our first child, and as all first-time parents do, generally you read up about how to give them the best start in life. I found out about the facts about black and white and I went on the search for some black and white picture books. I was quite underwhelmed, to be honest, with what was on the market. There was definitely nothing particularly animal focused or that encapsulated the nature that is in Southeast Asia, which is where we were living at the time, in Singapore. So as a graphic designer, I decided that I could create some of my own illustrations with some of our favourite animals that we had seen on our travels. So that's exactly what I did. I made a little book for our little boy, ready for when he was born, and a few for gifts as friends who were having babies around the same time as us. The feedback was pretty overwhelming and many of my friends said that I should really do something with the idea, and they felt there was nothing else on the market like this and that there was a real gap for me to create something quite special. And so that's what I did. So my baby was born, I launched the business. I did a lot of work just bouncing on a yoga ball, trying to keep him asleep whilst he was napping, whilst working on my laptop to really get the 3 books in the series together and printed, and it just really spiraled from there. So there's 3 books in the series at the moment. The first of which was Amazing Animals from Southeast Asia. So we were living in Singapore at the time and inspired by the amazing nature that was all around us and some of the things that we'd seen on our travels. So this seemed like a good place to start with some of our favourites. So each book has 12 illustrations. There's a little map in the front so you can see exactly where the animals come from in the world. And then, as you can see, they're just black and white. What I wanted to do was keep them quite true to life so that they're recognisable, so there's a little bit of fun with the googly eyes, but in general I think that, you know, if a child saw a picture in a magazine, it wouldn't be too far removed from what they actually look like. And some of the slightly more obscure animals out there, because I sort of feel like if people don't see them then they can't care about them and they can't possibly want to protect them in the future. So this is the first book in the series. Flip through all the pages, you can see, and we finish on the clouded leopard. So that's the first one, and then we also have 12 animals from Africa and 12 animals from Australia, 2 places that we've also visited and just fell in love with and think have really amazing wildlife. So another thing I noticed when I had my little boy was that I wanted to be talking to him all day, stimulating him, helping him develop, but it's actually quite exhausting to think of things to say all the time. I just thought, well, what could I do to help that? So I decided that actually a set of flashcards would be a really, really good tool for this. So there's the 12 animals that are in the Asia book on these cards, but the difference is each one has a fact on the back. So you can hold them in front of your baby, you can read out the facts so they can hear your lovely voice, and you can also learn a little bit of something. And as they grow up, they will learn the facts and hopefully be amazed by the nature that's around us. And just to make it slightly more appropriate for older children, there's actually a little, you can see there's a little interaction there which says, how wide can you stretch your arms like an orangutan? So each of these cards has a little interaction like that on there, just to get kids kind of a bit more involved, a bit more excited about the animals. So I'm quite passionate about conservation, and our mission is to inspire the next generation of animal lovers and conservationists. And I feel like if we can hook them in from birth, helping them be excited about the world around them and the nature that's in it, then we actually stand a chance of preserving some of it for future generations. I donate 25% of my own personal profits to animal charities. I really want to prove that people and planet can profit at the same time, and I want the work that I'm doing to really try and benefit the world around us. I have really big plans for my little business. I hope one day to have a whole series of books that showcase the amazing wildlife from every single corner of our planet, on every theme and every country that you could possibly think of. I also hope that the Little Black and White Book Project will become a Fern family favourite and a rite of passage to welcome any little new person to our amazing planet. Thank you for joining me and hearing all about the Little Black and White Book Project.